Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Amanda. This is week 31 of my RNY journey and weigh-in day, which was yesterday, but I'm a little late, and I'll explain why I was a little late with everything. So I had RNY gastric bypass on June 22nd, 2017 in Federal Way, Washington, at St. Francis Hospital with Dr. Haroon Anwar. My highest weight was 302 pounds. My surgery weight was 266 pounds. And last week I was 176.4, and this week I weighed 174.2, so that's a weekly loss of 2.2 pounds. Which is good for me. I've just really been trying to up my water as much as possible. I go to the gym a lot this week, and I'm gonna get into that of why. So I really just watched my food, and I haven't really honestly been eating because I've been so upset. My son that has apraxia of speech, communication issues, social emotional issues, transition issues. You all know that if you are part of my channel. If not, you can go back and watch my previous videos of having a special needs son. Anyway, last week bullying started at school. It started with teasing and eventually started getting worse. It started hitting, then the next day was pushing, and the next day was pushing down. And then it got this week to punching, being attacked in the bathroom, getting kicked in the head, and other boys joining in too. I was alerted Friday last week, and come to find out is communication errors through the school, through his teacher, his vice principal, and his principal. His vice principal and principal weren't doing their jobs. I immediately contacted the school about what the teacher was telling me, and I know his teacher very well because she always emails me. She's very quiet, very timid person, and so she just does better with emails, and I know that about her, so how does her staff not know that? So it eventually, like, me and my husband talked to the assistant principal who said bullying happens over time, which is not true. And it kind of just felt brushed off with her. So me and my husband went and talked to the principal, and he just kept blaming his teacher and his IEP team. And no, that's not the way this goes. I know, I'll be right there. I'm recording. And then so after the conversation with him, I went and talked to his teacher, and everything he was saying wasn't true. Like, she had emails upon emails she sent. She had reports she filed. She was doing her part. I know. Thank you. And sorry, I'm just really angry. And again, they weren't hearing me, so I called an emergency meeting with another set of parents who I'm close with, my son's best friend's parents, because not only is my son getting abused, but so is their child. And it was happening last year as well with the same student that was doing this. And legally, I can't put out names of or anything about that child, so I'm not going to. But I don't want this child expelled. He's special needs too. I want him to get help. He's a foster child. Something's wrong at home. A 6-year-old should not know how to hit and act like this and threaten my son, because he was threatening, if you tell, I'm going to hit you again. So my son wasn't telling me anything or anybody. He did tell his teacher eventually, but when it was too late, and so we are having an IEP team because he was eventually pulling out his privates to scare these children away because he couldn't get his words out. He can barely get his words out on a normal basis. So can you imagine getting abused and hit? And like, I would pull my PP out too if it scared them off. So we are going to have an IEP meeting and discuss ways to help my son with communication and, not to be scared to go to people. But my son didn't go to school today because he was just so scared. He gave up his class celebration of cupcakes and pajama day for this. He was scared. So they finally are listening. I had to get really, really loud to the point where I almost got the authorities called on me. I walked out of that meeting, and all the front desk ladies were like, because I got that loud, and the principal told me I was berating him, and I was, because he wasn't doing his job. And he kept, putting action into plan for my son, but he wasn't doing anything to the bully. And That's just not okay by me. And I got his boss involved. He's an officer above him. He's like in charge of so many schools. And then I got the harassment officer of the school district involved as well. So he wasn't happy about that. And you know what? Tough crap on you, because I'm my son's best advocate and you all are to blame for this. There's a communication, like the principal wants communication face to face and the vice principal wants phone calls, but the teacher likes emailing. Like, okay, so you're telling me she didn't try and contact you because you wanted her to call you or come into a meeting, which she did eventually, but she tried to get contact through emails first and she wasn't getting any feedback back. So I don't know. I got loud and I got proud, and the other family was just shocked. The teacher was shocked, but they thanked me over and over again because something's actually being done now. So teacher called me. They had a bullying conversation with the whole entire class, and my son has asked for the student to be moved out of his class because, again, I don't want him suspended. I don't want him expelled. He's 6. He needs help. So I think it's better they do that separate from my son. And so hopefully they move him. I will do an update about that when I can. But yeah, I'm hoping to get that child at least moved away from my child, because when we were in the meeting and I was yelling, the vice principal told me that the aides finally were doing their job because everything's happening at recess or in the bathroom. Well, why aren't the aides doing their jobs, you know? So she told me that he did get hit again. So hopefully they take it serious and help him. I'm not the mom that's gonna sit by and just let them push off my son's needs. That's not happening. I'm a very loud person as it is. And I didn't sleep for 2 days because this child obviously isn't having an advocate for him. If he's bullying from last year and nothing's changing, he obviously is either getting hit in his foster home or something, and he needs help, and he special needs too, so that hits home for me. And then I need to be an advocate for the teacher because she's shy and timid, and these people aren't hearing her, and she's a first-year teacher at this school. She's been a teacher for a while, but she's a first-year teacher at this school, so she's probably not comfortable venting to anybody yet. Like, I wouldn't be. It's only been half a year. Like, I wouldn't be comfortable going and venting about my problems to the principal if I was shy and timid. Like me, I'm letting anybody know what's going on, you know. But maybe she's just not like that type of person. Like, maybe she only vents to her husband. Like, that's what I was trying to make. I was trying to make known to them, like, you are failing him, you are failing him, even I am failing him. Maybe I could have had more communication with the principal and the vice principal before all this happened. Like, the whole system's failing him, not just his teacher. And that's what I was trying to get across, because they kept just blaming his teacher. Like, no, because the teacher's reporting what she's seeing and what she's hearing. She is not at recess. She's not in the bathroom. So how is she supposed to report that? Where are the aides? Why aren't they watching? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you not see a bunch of kids knocking my son down and kicking him in the head? The nurse did call me and say, your son has an egg on his head, you know, but she said, again, she doesn't know what it's from, yada, yada, yada. My week has just been stressful to the max. So I'm really glad that I didn't put on weight, because I was stress eating when I could. Sometimes I just wasn't eating at all. I was just drinking energy drinks to stay awake because I could not sleep. Like, I did not sleep for 2 days. Like, I was so upset because I felt like I had to not just be an advocate for my son now, but be an advocate for the teacher and be an advocate for this other boy that's obviously not getting the help he needs. And I screamed at them. I was like, my son is not going to be the 6-year-old committing suicide that you see on the news, or their child, because his best friend's getting hit too. And my son is not going to be shot when this kid comes to school with a gun because he's so angry at life he's going to kill people. That's just not the way it's going to be. And I'm not going to let that happen. Because you see that all over the news now. School shootings, suicide from bullying. And it's a major thing, and schools aren't doing enough about it. And that's just not okay by me. So I was screaming this at the top of my lungs. My daughters, stop. My daughters were next to me, and they were so scared of me. Like, they were like, are you okay, Mom? Like, they were so worried about me. And then, like, Lisa and Craig is Bella's mom and dad, and Craig's like, it's okay, Amanda, breathe. We don't want to get kicked out. Like, they were on my side about this. They were blown away by what came out of my mouth, and so is his teacher. I said, listen, I'm from Philly. Like, I'm not a quiet person at all. But I got it across to them, like, because I said at the end to the assistant principal who finished the meeting, and I really think she got it once I said this. I said, I didn't like you because I felt like you were pushing me off in emails. Apparently she doesn't like communicating in emails, and that's why it was only 1 or 2 sentences. She likes to be on the phone or in person. Well, you're doing the same thing as the teacher. You're saying she's not being a big enough advocate for my son because she's not coming talking to you face to face or on the phone as much as you would like her to. You got to be kidding me. You're doing the same thing that I just did. She has plenty of emails. She tried to contact you. She's saying that's the way she's comfortable contacting you, and she's not getting feedback. She also told me that you finally gave her permission to let me know what was going on. And like, well, she shouldn't have to ask for permission. Well, maybe she was trying to get feedback on the situation about, hey, this teasing is going on. Should I call the parents? And you never responded. It's just, it blows. Excuse me. Get out. You know I'm recording and you're being loud. Go. I don't want to. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so it's just been a long 2 weeks for me, and I wanted to vent about this to someone and get bullyingness awareness out there. Like, I'm blown away by this school. This is the top school in Puyallup, in the Northwest. People move to Puyallup, Washington. I'm not kidding. It is massively overpopulated here. People move here for these school districts. This is the top school. People pay money to send their kids to this school, their hearing impaired kids to this school, or whatever, because they have the hearing impaired program here. And yet, they're failing my child. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, when I was a kid, if you bullied and you hit a kid 3 times, you were expelled point blank. And they're not even talking to this kid. Like, I don't know. My son didn't go to school today. He gave up his class celebration, his cupcakes, his pajama party, because he was just so scared to go to school. So his teacher called me, and she said they had another meeting. She's been getting emails upon emails upon emails about Wyatt. They are realizing, even the principal, who is very condescending, very his stories are very conflicting. He goes back on what he says, like, he changes what he says. He did not like it, called his boss tough crap buddy, and you're not doing your job. They realize that their communication is failing. They are working on that, I guess. She felt she was much more bubbly and back to herself, which is good. She said that they're really on top of this, and I expressed my concerns about that child being in the same class as my son. My son does not feel comfortable going back to school until that child is removed. So I feel it's best that he goes to a different class and starts fresh, and they work on the issues they want to work on with him in a different classroom. If another kid gets it, then maybe they should go further in action. But he's also teaching other kids how to bully, and a lot of kids are coming forward about that. And and I know for a fact, like, Bella is Wyatt's best friend, and her parents didn't want him in the same class as her this year, and he is. So I made it clear I do not want this kid with my child ever again until he leaves this school. And so they better listen to that, or they're going to deal with Amanda Seamers again. The teacher said they will never forget who Amanda Seamers is. And this school will see Seamers for my grandbabies and be like, oh gosh, it's a Seamers. And you know what? Good. Because I got loud, and I am a helicopter mom, and I'm okay with that. My son couldn't talk till he was 4. I am his biggest advocate. And yeah, so that was my week. Weight loss is going good. I have plastics on February 6th. That's my consult at, I think, 9 a.m. Yeah, 9 a.m. So I'm super excited to see what the plastic surgeon has to say. And he's very cute. And go from there. And my plastics won't be till the end of June, and that's okay. That's when I planned in my head. Because my child will be out of school, and all will be home for the summer, so I don't have to drive anywhere. I don't have to do anything, or the mother-in-law can take them and not have to worry about taking them to school. So that's why I'm doing it in June and July. I'm hoping they can do my stomach and legs at the same time. If not, probably be about 6 weeks to 2 months apart. But yeah, so sorry. I just wanted to vent and get bullyingness awareness out there. If I can, if anybody views it, cool. But it's just not okay what schools think is okay nowadays. So anyways, guys, if you have any comments, concerns, leave them in the comments box and I'll get back to you. Take care. God bless. Have a great day.